Hi, this is Brandon with Precision Defensive Solutions, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the idea that you're never going to see your sights in a defensive context if you're using a firearm to defend your life. Now, I've heard this a lot, and it really irritates me. Now let me give you some of my background. Some of you may know, some of you may not. I am a certified analyst through Force Science Institute. In fact, I just completed my fourth certification course through Force Science Institute, which was their Force Encounters course. Which, if you are a law enforcement officer or instructor, I would seriously look into Force Science. You can learn an awful lot from them, but I digress. Anyway, when we look at whether we're going to see our sights or not, it's not a thing of whether we saw our sights unless we consciously didn't try to use our sights, or it's more of, do we remember seeing our sights? And so some people will say, well, I got my hits at 7 to 10 yards, but I never saw my sights, so I was point shooting. No, you saw your sights, and you absolutely saw your sights. You just don't remember it. Whether that is because of where your attention was, which was, if you're defending your life, your attention was on the threat that was there presenting itself, that was willing to take your life, or because of the stress level, your memory is not catching that detail, that small little detail. We can only focus on one thing at a time. We hear this all the time in firearms classes, where the eye can only see one thing at a time. Truly focus on one thing at a time. And that's kind of the way our attention works also. We can shift our attention to different things very quickly, but we cannot dedicate full attention to one thing and everything else too. So what happens is, the way our brain typically works is we shift attention. So we may see our sights, and then our attention shifts to that threat, and we go hard target focus. Our sights are on target. We're seeing our sights subconsciously, but we don't remember it, because our attention wasn't on the sights. Our attention was on the threat. So when we're talking about point shooting in a controlled environment, people say, well, I can do this, I can do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, one of the things that I have shown people on presentation, and I would never, ever, listen to me, ever suggest that people do this. This is an absolute emergency use of an optic, where you can get quote unquote unsighted fire if the optic fails at defensive distances within a defensive context. But in the reality of it is, you are using something for your sights. And that something is still your window and the frame of your optic, and you're just centering your target within that center window, the center part of that window where your dot would normally be. So you're still using sighted fire, it's just not super precise. And I've done that out to about 7 yards, where I've gotten A-zone hits. Were they anywhere near as fast as I normally can do? No. Would I expect them to be? No. Would I ever suggest people do that, on a normal, everyday thing and carry their gun that way? Absolutely not. It is a worst case scenario that if you need it, you can use the framing of the optic to do it. But to sit there and say, no, don't even look at your sights, just throw the gun out there and shoot. You're looking for a jail sentence. No, let me correct that. You're looking for a prison sentence. Because one, you're putting the public in danger. And if a police officer, prosecutor, anybody asks you if you saw your sights in a defensive encounter, and you purposely say no because you don't need your sights, you're going to have a problem. Any instructor that teaches you to point shoot in a defensive context like that, out to 5, 7, 10 yards, run away. You should be getting your money back, to be honest with you. Because not only are they putting you in a position of high liability, but they are also responsible for what they taught you. And honestly, they're looking for a problem too. Whether that be in a civil lawsuit or even a criminal charge for neglect in how they're teaching you. 100% use your sights. It doesn't take that long to do it. Practice with your sights, and the more you do it, the more intuitive it's going to be. When you get your technique down and you get your presentation down, you're going to put your sights right in front of your eye. Don't cheat yourself. Point shooting is for contact distance. Somebody's on top of you. This is a bad situation in a entangled fight to draw a gun. It's super dangerous. And you better understand how to control limbs, how to control somebody's body, how to protect your gun, because if they can reach your gun, they can take it away from you. So let's be smarter than this. Let's act like adults and not like children. Take care, everybody. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.